Hey everybody, Jim and Eric here to talk about Star Wars Episode 7. Lucasfilm officially announced the cast today, and hot damn, what a cast. I'm just going to rattle them off, and then Mr. Goldman and I here are going to talk about it. We have John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Domhnall Gleason, Max von Sydow, and then, of course, the original cast members returning, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, and I believe Kenny Baker as well, but conspicuously, no Billy D. Williams, no Lando. What up with that?
Yeah, no Billy D. Williams. I mean, you can say that it is the original cast. It is the Episode 4 surviving cast members, and maybe that's what they want to concentrate on. I do wonder, look, they're introducing a bunch of new characters. We don't know exactly how much the makeup of the film will be, the new characters, the old characters. There might just not be room for Lando except to be gratuitously there.
But maybe he'll be in Episode 8 or 9. This is a new trilogy after all.
I would bet anything he will pop up. Maybe he has a cameo in Episode 7, or maybe they'll just save him for another movie. It doesn't seem like he's in the central cast. This is like the central cast members. They had that picture of them all sitting around. But hopefully Lando will get his due at some point.
Yeah, I mean, what I find interesting is that this is the Skywalker family, really, in a way. But the fact that they're bringing back the original actors for the droids and for Chewbacca, all of whom, everyone in this cast is much older now.
Of course, yeah.
Especially Peter Mayhew, who's got a lot of health issues. So, I mean, it makes you wonder why just bring them back for nostalgia's sake?
I think it's respect. I really do think it is respect. And again, I don't, expect Peter Mayhew to be asked to, get in that Chewbacca outfit and run around.
Yeah.
And again, he might not be a big part of the movie, but I do think there is a part of let's bring back these people. They were there at the beginning. We want to be respectful of that history.
Now, this new cast, though, let's talk about some of these folks. Now, John Boyega, everyone seems to only know him from Attack the Block, but he's going to have his profile is going to be raised by a new television project.
Well, it's funny because this announcement happens the morning after I was watching the screeners for the new season of 24, the return of 24, Live Another Day, and he's in it. Not a huge part, at least in the first 2 episodes, but a notable part.
Yeah.
So he will suddenly be kind of seen by a lot more American viewers.
He's a young British actor, if you guys don't know.
Young British actor playing an American in 24. But yeah, he's about to be seen by way many people than saw Attack the Block in this country, at least.
And then Daisy Ridley is a complete unknown. She's done some TV stuff. I would assume probably some theater stuff too. But and she's the only new female cast member announced. This is a very young male-centric cast, and a lot of them are around the same age, like Domhnall Gleason and Adam Driver, who we knew would be in the movie, John Boyega, and then Oscar Isaac is in his early to mid-30s. Now, you guys know him from Sucker Punch, from 2 Inside Llewyn Davis people in this movie.
Yes, Adam Driver and him are both in it, and we were saying that it seems like that movie must have been very popular with J.J. Abrams and the casting people, if they cast from that film.
And then Domhnall Gleason, why don't you tell folks what he's notable for?
The most notable thing on the geek spectrum is the final 2 Harry Potter films, where he played Bill Weasley. He was also in the criminally underseen Dredd. He was kind of the computer guy that Lena Headey had locked up down there,
and then, of course, Andy Serkis. We just talked to him last week at WonderCon. Andy, you sneaky bastard. Do we think, we were speculating before this, maybe he's playing more than one role like he did in King Kong, because obviously he's the king of performance capture. But he's also a fine dramatic actor in his own right. It would be great to see him in more than one role in this thing. But
I mean, it's so perfect to cast him, right? I mean, you hear Andy Serkis is in Star Wars, and I think a lot of us said, of course, he should be.
Why didn't we think of that before now?
He is such a master of what he does, and as we've seen him do in King Kong and now the Apes movies, he could play anything, and the Star Wars universe really lends itself to that, because he could play some weird creature, or he could play some giant on some planet.
I hope he plays Salacious B. Crumb's grandson.
That is a
out for revenge for what happened on that barge. But
that is a possibility.
But I mean, we have, and then of course the screen legend himself, Max von Sydow. What I find so cool about his casting is that, Lucas only made Star Wars because he couldn't make Flash Gordon. And now you have Ming the Merciless himself in Star Wars. He does seem like the last trilogy had Christopher Lee, the original trilogy had Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is carrying on that tradition.
That's what I felt too, because a lot of this casting was starting to leak, but he was one of the ones that we hadn't heard his name at all.
Yeah.
And it does seem like the classic Star Wars tradition, because we were talking about the fact that there's no like giant movie stars in this cast, right?
Right.
I mean, not including obviously Harrison Ford and anyone returning. The new actors, there's a lot of respected actors, acclaimed actors, but they're not like, Liam Neeson level or Samuel L. Jackson level when they were cast in Star Wars.
Even Ewan McGregor he'd come off of Trainspotting, and Natalie Portman. People knew those actors.
Their profile was higher, I'd say, for people.
Yeah.
But Von Sydow is such a classic Star Wars casting of this respected older actor. I have to say, because he played such an old man in The Exorcist, I've always thought that he's always been 85.
Yeah.
But apparently he's only now 85.
He looked old in The Seventh Seal, and he was probably only in his 30s.
Right.
But, so Von Sydow really brings that level of gravitas to this whole affair. But also, Oscar Isaac, wonderful actor.
Coming off
he's
this
an
really...
IGN fan. I just got to throw that out there. The first time I ever met the guy, he was like, "Oh, IGN, I'm a huge gamer, all that." So we got one of our own here.
And he's one of those people who you might not have heard of him. You might not have seen that movie Inside Llewellyn Davis, but it was such an acclaimed movie.
Yeah.
He is definitely someone who a lot of people in Hollywood had their eyes on and wanted to get.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a cool casting to put him in this film. They don't need movie stars. Star Wars is the brand. Everyone's going to go see it as Star Wars, so why not cast some really great up-and-coming actors like this?
And then, this cast, though, there does seem to be sort of a lot of young men.
Yeah.
And one young woman. Could we be looking at maybe Jedi Academy or something? I mean, it does seem a little... Just looking at that cast photo they revealed.
Well, we should clarify, too, that they didn't say a thing about the characters.
Yep.
They didn't say anything about who any of these people are playing. So all we have to go by is old rumors. Like we heard Adam Driver's playing a villain.
Yeah.
Maybe. They didn't say.
Yeah.
I am guessing that there will ultimately be a central trio, as there has been in both other trilogies of Star Wars. I do find it curious that Daisy Ridley is the only female. It just kind of seemed odd. Again, she won't be the only woman in the movie besides Carrie Fisher. There'll be other female characters, I'm sure, but this is the central cast. It did stick out. I hope that she is very prominent, and I think that she might be. She could be sort of the central young Jedi figure around whom the others are gathered. We don't know yet, though.
But she does kind of fit with the type of young actress that they had been looking at. They had been looking at, I think Saoirse Ronan went in to read for it. So she does have that. And I think it's great, too, that they're unknown. There's no, that they're unknowns. There's no real baggage with any of them, They're all, the one thing they all have in common is they're all damn fine young actors.
Right.
So what do you think, though, about the sort of the prominence or the rumored prominence of the original trio of characters?
I mean, this will be ultimately, I think, a passing the torch movie. I don't expect it to be, a new adventure for Han, Luke, and Leia with everyone around them. I think it's got to be about these new young characters kind of being sent out in the world with the trio in the original trio in supporting roles. But I think that's what we all want. We want to see these characters again. It's been 31 years since Return of the Jedi came out. It's really exciting. You see that photo of them sitting there, and it's like, oh my God.
It's really happening.
We're going to see Han, Luke, and Leia in a new movie.
I mean, I did think that...
pretty amazing.
I thought it was pretty telling, the placement of people in that photo. Han Solo, Harrison Ford sitting right next to J.J. Abrams. Like, to me, it's a little weird because Han Solo was a supporting player in that trilogy, and it seems like everybody wants Han to be front and center.
I think ultimately, though, it's going to be a Jedi story. It's got to be, and that's why I can't help but wonder if Daisy Ridley will be a young Jedi character. Some of those other guys will be too. That there will be some sort of central trio, but maybe not. The last series again, it did that thing of a couple of them. Padme was not obviously a Jedi; she was part of the group. I think that there's going to be so much speculation until they put out something about the characters. But until then, it's just very exciting to once again have that reminder. Wow, we've got new Star Wars coming.
Finally, May the 4th is coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of us thought this announcement might drop on May the 4th.
I was
the reason
sure
why
at this point.
it dropped today was that today was their table read in England. What do you think we might get? on May the 4th. Do you think we'll get the title or maybe a cast photo or teaser art?
I don't know. I mean, again, I completely at this point thought for sure the cast announcement was coming May 4th, and instead it's a few days before. There's rumors that the title would be at Comic-Con. It would fit tradition. I was at Comic-Con when the Revenge of the Sith title was announced. I remember being in that room. But I feel like obviously they're going to excel. You know, Lucasfilm has done official stuff on May the 4th for a few years now, which was an unofficial, obviously a fan-driven day. So something, whether it be, you know, a reveal of a new creature or something like that, maybe. I don't know if we're going to get the title of the movie yet, though. I think they're going to hold that
you know,
back.
I just feel like this, so far, a lot of Episode 7 hasn't really fit with tradition of how it's done. I mean, the fact that it's coming out at Christmas instead of May is I guess I would be really surprised if they did drop the title this soon, but I bet you my 2 cents is that maybe an official photo of Harrison Ford in costume as old Han Solo.
I would certainly be accepting that.
We would all
we would
be
endorse
happy with
that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to be talking about Star Wars for a long time. Remember, this is just Episode 7. We have 2 more episodes to get through here.
And standalone movies.
And standalone movies. So we ain't done yet.
No.
So thanks for watching. Keep it locked here to IGN for more on Star Wars.
May the Force be with you.